Okay, so I wanted to take a moment and talk to you about this book, The Artist's Journey by Stephen Pressfield. I think that this book is formative for a lot of people who are trying to figure out their way into feeling comfortable about making art. So what happens when you're doing this, he talks about the hero's journey and the comparison to that and the artist's journey. And what happens is that in life we go through a lot of experiences, and these experiences are sometimes good and they're sometimes bad, but they add to our understanding of ourselves and understanding of the world and how we relate and navigate to the world. And that's the journey that we all take as people who are alive. It's just, if you're alive, you're on that journey. What's intriguing, and the parallel that he makes, is that we all come to know ourselves or accept ourselves as a particular way of being. It may or may not be accurate. There may be conditioned influences that take us farther away from who we really are deep inside. Making art is a way into, or creating really anything, is a way into understanding more of who you really are. Because when you release yourself into making a piece of art, you kind of lose that conditioning, and you lose that sense of experience that you've come to perceive yourself as. And as a result, what comes out on the canvas is surprising, because in a way what's happening is you're tapping into the great unknown, the unconscious within you, what you don't know about yourself, what you're not personally aware of, that's already inborn or feels closer to your truth. And it's a wonderful playground, creating anything, but for me, making art. And Pressfield says that we go on two journeys. One journey is the hero's journey, the one that I described earlier, which is just, you're doing it. If you're alive, you're doing it. You're having a collection of experiences, and you're kind of making a perception from those experiences. And the other is when you choose to do something that allows you a way into your unconscious, your subconscious, your maybe return to a truer sense of who you really are. When I read that, it made me feel powerful in my body. It made me feel like there was something outside of all the worrying and fear and resistance that I seem to carry with me, and I think a lot of people do. And I recognize that there's a state of flow when I'm making art, and in that state of flow, there's a certain release from that set of conditioning, facade, and a release from myself. Stop thinking about myself and worrying about myself. Just make the art. It's a beautiful experience, and I wanted to make a short video about it because not only is Pressfield's work really helpful, I think, for people who are creating anything. And of course, if you're a manager and you're working with people, every conversation you have with the people you're responsible to and serving is a moment of creation. Anything we do is an expression of art, so life equals art. So when I say art and painting, I'm talking about myself, but I'm talking about you too, no matter what you're doing. And I find that Pressfield's work, The War of Art, is the first one, and it's seminal. You've probably heard about it. Take a look at that. I don't know if that I agree with everything in that book. Maybe I'll make another video about that. I probably will. And Turning Pro is really an important book because it teaches you that accepting routine practice is the deepest way, a deep way to know yourself and make a commitment to your true life purpose. But this book is the one where he talks about the hero's journey and the artist's journey, and how those things can create a a way of connecting to yourself, as I said, but also a way for you to begin to connect your art making with other people. Because as you remember, the hero's journey is you get a call, you resist the call, and then you go on the call. Sometimes the call's thrust on you, and you go through a series of tests, and on the other side of it, you come back. This is Odyssey, the Odyssey. You come back eventually, and you share what you've learned with other people. That's the artist's journey. It's a hero's journey, and it's the artist's journey every time you make a painting. So I would encourage looking at Pressfield's books, especially this one if you're interested in hero's journey and how it might relate to anything that you're doing in your life that feels creative or where you want to dig down deeper into who you are. Cool? Cool.